Hey y'all, it's Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and here are some of my favourite books and some book recommendations for you. The first genre I'm going to be recommending is romance, because romance is the genre I read the most, and it's the genre I'm most passionate in and the one that I love the most, so I thought I might as well kick it off with romance. So first of all, this is a very popular one, but it is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and I will be reading the blurbs to all these books so you guys can kind of get a little feel for what it is. Okay, so The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. Rowan. I'm in the business of creating fairy tales, theme parks, production companies, 5-star hotels. Everything could be all mine if I renovated Dreamland. My initial idea of hiring Zara was good in theory, but then I kissed her. Things spiraled out of control once I texted her using an alias. By the time I realised where I went wrong, it was too late. People like me don't get happy endings, not when we're destined to ruin them. Zara. After submitting a drunk proposal criticising Dreamland's most expensive ride, I should have been fired. Instead, Rowan Kane offered me a dream job. The catch? I had to work for the most difficult boss I'd ever met. Rowan was rude and completely off limits, but my heart didn't care, at least not until I discovered his secret. It was time to teach the billionaire that money couldn't fix everything, especially not us. And what I like about The Fine Print, and it's not just smut or romance, it has a plot to it as well, and it's one of the only romance books that I've read that actually have a plot. Definitely recommend this. And then the next one, this one is a YA romance, so no smut. It's If You Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. This is more of a sad romance with a really heartbreaking ending. So, if you had been with me, everything could have been different. Autumn and Finn used to be inseparable, but then something changed. Or they changed. Now, they do their best to ignore each other. Jamie has her boyfriend, Jamie. Autumn has her boyfriend, Jamie, and her close-knit group of friends. Finn has become that boy at school, the one everyone wants to be around. That still doesn't stop the way Autumn feels every time she and Finn cross paths, and the growing, nagging thought that maybe things could have been different, maybe they should be together. And as time passes, Autumn realises she might not get another chance to make things right before it's too late. It's so good, it's so fast-paced and easy to read, and as much as the ending disappointed me, I just really liked how fast I could get through this book, and that is why I'm recommending it. It's not that long either, and the text is quite big, and it's written for 13 to 16-year-olds, so it's really easy to get through and fast-paced. That's why I really like this one. Then we have the Heartstopper series. I have 1 through 4. I need to get the 5th one, but I've read all 4. So number 1, it's boy meets boy, boys become friends, boys fall in love, and it's a graphic novel. It's so good, and I literally read it in 25 minutes. So good. Then you have the second one, and this one is Nick and Charlie are best friends. The one spontaneous kiss has changed everything. In the aftermath, Charlie thinks that he's made a horrible mistake and ruined his friendship with Nick, but Nick is more confused than ever. Love works in surprising ways, and Nick comes to see the world from a new perspective. He discovers all sorts of things about his friends, his family, and himself. Again, graphic novel. And then number 3, Dear Tori, Paris is amazing. Me, Nick, and all our friends are having the best time, although there's been some drama with Tayo. And well, a lot has happened. I'll tell you about it when I get home. Charlie XXX. And that's what it says in the back of that. Again, click a comic. And then volume 4, Nick's journal. I think I'm in love with Charlie. This summer with him and our friends has been amazing, and I want to say I love you, but I guess I've had other things to worry about lately. And these are just so easy to read. I think I read the whole series in 3 days. Like, oh my god, they're also good for school too. They don't have any, they're closed doors, they don't have any smut in them, so you can take them to school, you could read them in front of your family, everything, and they are just amazing and so easy to get through. Then It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This one's so popular on TikTok, and I know a lot of you have seen it before, and I actually really like it. I definitely recommend reading it in the summer. So, Piper Bellinger is fashionable and influential, and her reputation as a wild child means the paparazzi are constantly on her heels. When too much champagne and out-of-control rooftop party land Piper in the slammer, her stepfather decides enough is enough, so he cuts off and sends her and her sister to learn some responsibility running their late father's dive bar in Westport, Washington. Piper hasn't even been in Westport 5 minutes when she meets big bearded sea captain Brendan Taggart. He thinks she won't last a week outside of Beverly Hills. So what if Piper can't do math and the idea of sleeping in a shabby apartment with bunk beds gives her hives? How bad should it really be? She's determined to show her stepfather and the hot, grumpy local that she's more than just a pretty face. Except it's a small town, and everywhere she turns she bumps into Brendan, the fun-loving socialite, and the gruff fisherman are polar opposites, but there's an undeniable attraction simmering between them. Piper doesn't want any distractions, especially feelings for a man who sails off into the sunset for weeks at a time. Yet, as she reconnects with her past and begins to feel her at home in Westport, Piper starts to wonder if the cold, glamorous life she knew is what she truly wants. LA is calling her name, but Brendan, and this town full of memories, may have already caught her heart. I love this one. It was a bit harder to read, and I read it because I was in a book club, but I really enjoyed it. It's just sweet and fun. This one does have a little bit more smut in it, but I just like Tessa Bailey's books. I've read 2 of her books, and I just really enjoy them. They're not hard to read. They don't have really big words. They're just really sweet and short, and yeah, the text is also quite big. I really enjoyed it, and it's popular for a reason. Then we have the first 2 books in the Maple Hill series by Hannah Grace. The first one, which everyone knows, is Icebreaker. I really enjoyed this one. I stayed up till 4 a.m. reading it. He's the one thing she couldn't plan for. Anastasia Allen has worked her entire life for a shot at Team USA. It looks like everything is going according to plan when she gets a full scholarship to the University of California, Maple Hills, and lands a place on their competitive figure skating team. Nothing will stand in her way, not even the captain of the hockey team, Nate Hawkins. Love Nate. Mwah, mwah, love Nate. Nate's focus as team captain is on keeping his team on the ice, which is tricky. When a facilities mishap means they are forced to share a rink with the figure skating team, including Anastasia, who clearly can't stand him. But when Anastasia's skating partner faces an uncertain future, she may have to look to Nate to take her shot. Sparks fly, but Anastasia isn't worried because she could never like a hockey player, right? But it's a hockey player ex-figure skater duo, and that is one of my favourite tropes in a romance book. And it's she falls first, but he falls harder. No, the guy falls harder, not the girl. So she's kind of grumpy, and then he's like a golden retriever kind of guy, which I love, and I just love Nate so much. And then the next one is Wildfire, which follows Russ and Aurora. Russ also goes to the University of Maple Hills, and he's one of Nate's friends, and you meet him in the first book, but you don't really know a lot about him. And this one that I got has an exclusive chapter too, so I really like that one. It only takes one spark. At a party celebrating the end of the academic year, Maple Hill students Russ Callaghan and Aurora Roberts have a passionate one-night stand. Never one to overstay her welcome or expect much from a man, Aurora slips away before Russ even has the chance to ask for her full name. Days later, they run into each other in their new jobs as summer camp counselors, hoping to escape their complicated home lives. Russ knows breaking the camp strict and no staff fraternizing rule will have him heading back to Maple Hills before the summer is over, but unfortunately for him, Aurora has never been very good at carrying out the rules. So good. This one, Icebreaker was better, but this one is so cute, so fluffy, just so sweet. I really enjoyed it. Like, it's just mwah, mwah, mwah. Mwah. Now for thriller/murder mysteries, the first thriller that I recommend is definitely Verity by Colleen Hoover. This one was so good. It had a huge plot twist at the end, and my jaw went to the floor. This book is so good. Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home, ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in their chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of the night her family was forever altered. Lowen decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, knowing its content could devastate the already grieving father. But as Lowen's feelings for Jeremy begin to intensify, she recognises all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his wife's words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue loving her. This book is so sad as well. It has a huge plot twist. It's also really, really sad. I would 100% recommend this. It's just so good. And it's crazy too. Like, oh my goodness, the plot twist is crazy. Then second, I would recommend the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. There's 3, but there's actually 4 books, but there's a novella in it too, which I haven't read yet. I read all 3. So the first one, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This is the story of an investigation turned obsession. Pretty and popular high school senior Annie Bell was murdered by her boyfriend Sal Singh, who then killed himself. It was all anyone could talk about, and 5 years later, Pip sees how the tragedy still haunts her town. Now a senior herself, Pip decides to re-examine the closed case for her final project, just to cast doubt on the original investigation. But soon she discovers a trail of dark secrets that might actually prove Sal innocent, and the line between past and present begins to blur. Someone in Fairview doesn't want Pip digging around for answers, and now her own life might be in danger. This book was my favourite book of 2023. I devoured this book in 3 days. So good. It's also YA too, so it's super easy to read, super quick, closed door romance, but there is a little bit of a romance between Pip and Sal's brother Ravi, who do the case together, but closed door, nothing smutty. And the next one, Good Girl Bad Blood. Some secrets are too deadly to tell. Pip is not a detective anymore. With the help of Ravi Singh, she released a true crime podcast about the murder case they solved together last year. Though the podcast went viral, Pip insists that her sleuthing days are behind her. But when someone she knows goes missing and the police won't do anything, Pip has no choice but to investigate. After all, Jamie Reynolds disappearing on the very same night the town hosted a memorial for the 6-year anniversary of the deaths of Andy Bell and Sal Singh. It has to be more than a coincidence. Pip follows a trail of clues, uncovering more of her town's dark secrets along the way. And this time, everyone is listening. Will she find Jamie before it's too late? This one was probably my least favourite book in the series. You kind of start to hate a lot of characters that you thought were okay in the first book, but it just wasn't as good as the first book. So still 100% recommend, just not as good as the first book. Then we have As Good as Dead, which is the last book in the series and my favourite. You'll never think of good girls the same way again. Pip is still haunted by the way her last investigation ended. She's used to online death threats in the wake of her viral true crime podcast, but soon the threats escalate and Pip realises that someone is following her in real life. When Pip discovers a connection between her new stalker and a local serial killer, she finds herself in the centre of another case. Will her good girl ways die with her, or if the deadly games play out, will Pip risk losing everyone she loves, including herself? And this one is so sad. It had me crying, sobbing, everything at the end. This one is a roller coaster of emotions, but yeah, I still 100% recommend it. And then we have They'll Never Catch Us by Jessica Goodman. This one isn't as good as the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, but then if you've already read that, I definitely recommend this because it's a lot similar, just more worse. So, Stella and Ellie Steckler are only a year apart, but their clashing personalities make their relationship complicated. Stella is a single-minded, driven, and she keeps to herself. Cross-country is her life, and she won't let anything get in the way of her being the best. Her sister Ellie is a talented runner too, but she also lets herself have fun. She has friends, she goes to parties, she has a life off the course. As different as these sisters are, they share running at one strange complication. The new girl, Mila Keene. At first, Ellie and Stella view Mila, the new star athlete, as a threat. But soon, Ellie can't help but be drawn to her warm, charming personality. Since her best friend moved away and her first boyfriend betrayed her, Ellie's been looking for a friend to share her secrets. Stella finds herself noticing the ways she and Mila are similar. Mila is smart and strong, she's someone Stella can finally connect with. As the two get closer, Stella becomes something she's vowed she'd never be: distracted. With regionals approaching and college scouts taking notice, the pressure is on. Each girl has their future on the line and they won't let friendships get in the way. But then, suddenly, Mila goes out on a training run and never returns. No one knows what happened, but all eyes are on the Steckler sisters. I ate this up. So good. So good. And then I have one more, but I forgot to get it, so I'll get it. So I definitely recommend 5 Survive by Holly Jackson, who is the same author who wrote the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, which I also really enjoyed. This one is a lot different to the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. Instead of watching someone solve a murder mystery, you're in the murder mystery. You're a victim. So, you can't see me, but I can see you. If you try to run, I will shoot. Red Kenny is on a road trip with 5 friends when their RV breaks down in the middle of nowhere. This is no accident. Someone is out there and someone wants one of them dead. With 8 hours until dawn, the 6 friends must escape or work out which one of them is the target. Buried secrets will be forced to light and not everyone will survive the night. This book, oh my god, I ate it up. I started hating characters, then I loved them, then I hated them again, then I wanted to punch them, and I wanted to shoot them. Woo! This book was a whirlwind, an emotional roller coaster. It was everything that you expect in a murder mystery book. It's a YA, closed door, no smut, a lot of swearing, but still so good. And I love Holly Jackson so much. She's also coming out with a new book this year, the reappearance of Rachel Price. So I'm so excited. Love, love, love. I don't really read fantasy, so I am going to skip over that. But if I was going to recommend one fantasy book, I'd recommend Fourth Wing. That's quite a good book. And then for dystopian, I recommend the Shatter Me series. It's YA, closed door, and I've currently read the first 2 books, and they are so good. But now, because I don't have many more books to recommend, I'm going to recommend some books off of Kindle Unlimited, because most of the books that I read are on Kindle Unlimited, and some books that I read are on Kindle Unlimited, but I don't have them in physical form, so I'm going to recommend you some off of my Kindle. So the first book I really recommend from Kindle is Same Time Next Year by Tessa Bailey. That was so good. It's a little novella. It's 144 pages. It was so cute. It's a hockey romance, but it's a plot. It has a plot to it too. I'll put a picture of the cover up here, but it has a plot to it as well. And then I also recommend Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's a bit of a different book. It's written in letters, so you actually don't get like any words. You read letters that 2 people have sent to each other, and it's dual point of view. You get 4 different characters' point of views. I really loved it. I read it in a day. Love. And the Tessa Bailey one, I also read that in a day. I also really like that one as well, and they are both on Kindle Unlimited. Also, The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I really like that one. As you can tell, I'm really into hockey romances or sports romance. So I really like The Deal by Elle Kennedy, which I also read on my Kindle. I finished that a couple of days ago. Really liked it. It was quite smutty, but still really enjoyable. I know that this wasn't as many books as you guys are probably expecting, but I don't read that fast, and I haven't actually read that much books. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys found a new book from this video that you're going to pick up and try, because that would make me feel amazing that I gave you a book, I recommended you a book, and you loved it and it became one of your favorites. That just makes me so happy. But if you have any more questions or recommendations or just things you want to tell me, message me down in my description, because I have all of my information there. I love you all so much, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Bye. Mwah, mwah.